Assalamu alaikum. I am Shujat Ali from Medicos Lectures by Shujat, and today we are going to discuss with you the anatomy of clavicle. We have 5 main points to discuss with you. First, what actually clavicle is and its anatomy. Second, its relation with scapula. Third is its relation with sternum. And fourth, which muscles are attached to the clavicle. We have muscles right here where we are going to discuss with you that which muscles are attached with clavicle. And fifth is clinical correlations of clavicle. I have a right clavicle there and a superior view is of right clavicle. This is the superior view. Here we have a surface for acromioclavicular joint, right here, a notch. And this is basically for sternoclavicular joint. This is going to articulate with sternum. And this is the shaft. And clavicle is basically from a collarbone, and it's from a Greek word clavicule, which means a key, because its shape is just resembles with the key. This portion is lateral 1/3 part, and this is medial 2/3 part. Clavicle is S in shape and connect upper limb to the thorax and allows the limb to move freely from trunk. And we are going to discuss with you now the relationship of sternum with clavicle. Here we have a sternum, here we have a suprasternal notch, and here we have a clavicular notch. As this is a right clavicle, so this clavicle is articulate at this point with sternum and forming a sternoclavicular joint. And here is the first costal cartilage, and this sternoclavicular joint is basically a saddler type of joint. And if we are connecting the sternoclavicular joint and first costal cartilage or costal joint, we form a compound variety of complex joints. Now these two clavicles, right and left clavicle, are articulating with sternum at this particular point. And the ligaments that articulate them is interclavicular ligament. And the first costal cartilage, when it articulate at this particular joint, so they form a costoclavicular ligament. Now discussing the relationship of this presented scapula with clavicle, we have a coracoid process and an acromion process right there. Coracoid is because of its crow beak like shape, and acromion process is right there. And this presented lateral 1/3 part is going to articulate with acromion process and forming an acromioclavicular joint. Here we have this widened area is glenoid fossa. At this presented point, we see that this is the glenoid fossa, and this is going to articulate with humerus. Focusing on clavicle, we have a conoid tubercle, widened shaped, roughened shaped area in clavicle, conoid tubercle, and it is going to articulate with this presented widened shaped area of scapula. Now, focusing on the shaft of clavicle. From the superior surface, we have a shaft which is concavo-convex. The lateral 1/3 part is concave and the medial 2/3 is convex. And from the inferior surface, we have a convexo-concave. The lateral is convex and the medial is concave part of clavicle. Now, going to discuss my fourth point, that which muscles are going to attach with clavicle. So putting my clavicle right there, in that conoid tubercle portion and acromioclavicular joint, near that portion we have a pectoralis major muscle. Behind that we have a latissimus dorsi muscle. Now I ask the cameraman to zoom in that presented skeleton. Here we have a trapezius muscle, a diamond shaped muscle, which is present in that portion of clavicle. And we have a sternocleidomastoid muscle is right there. When we move our neck there, this presented muscle is sternocleidomastoid. Sterno is from sternum, cleido is from clavicle, and mastoid muscle. So this is the sternocleidomastoid muscle. Here we have a deltoid muscle that is going to attach with the clavicle. So the deltoid muscle has its 3 originations or 3 fibers that collect and made the deltoid muscle. So posteriorly it is from the spinous process of scapula, and from the anterior view it is from the clavicle, and anterior it is from clavicle, and from medial point we are going acromion process of scapula will move its fibers and form this presented deltoid muscle. This deltoid muscle is basically used for IM injection, which is at 90 degree. Now, discussing my last point, that what are the clinical correlations, that what we pathologize, how to treat that particular patient. So, first clinical correlation is here a lateral 1/3 and medial 2/3 part. So, the shaft that is going to connect the lateral 1/3 and medial 2/3 part, that presented portion of shaft is the weakest portion in clavicle. So, when we fall on our outstretched hands, we should put pressure on that portion, and this portion has a major chance of injury. The lateral and medial 2/3 point meeting point is have major chance of injury. Second, in some people, in some patients, we have a clavicle missing or clavicle is imperfectly developed, maybe due to some abnormality. So these type of patients have their name from the cleidocranial dystosis. So these patients do not able to move their shoulders as much as the normal patients can. We have three types of pathology of cleidocranial dystosis. In children, we have a facial reconstructive surgery to support their clavicle, and spinal fusion surgery in adults, and also a surgery from the knee area is there for treating the cleidocranial dystosis. And this is my lecture on clavicle and its relationship with sternum and scapula and its muscles. Hope you all will understand it well. Don't forget subscribing Medicos Lectures by Shujat. Thank you so much.